Hi there, this is Alex Margaway bringing you another edition of Coffee Talk. Coffee Talk is brought to you jointly by Array Business Centre, Mainline Financial and Renewford Partners. Today, this is the second of the two-part series about insurance and super, and the objective is to show you that your choices as far as your insurances are concerned are open to a greater range of options than just exists in your super fund. And just before we start, just our general advice warning, just to guide you that this is a general advice piece, not a personal advice piece. Now, in the first place, if we look at a fairly traditional super fund here, generally speaking, a super fund will offer you up to three types of insurance: death cover, total disability cover, and income cover. And generally speaking, a super fund rather, will offer you those types of cover from a single insurer. It's not always the case, but generally it is. And of course, then we have the member here underneath. So the thing to know really is that what you can do, rather than being limited to the covers in your super fund, you can go outside your super fund and seek costings and other information from other insurers. So, and there are about a dozen of those. So basically, instead of having a choice of one, you can option out to a choice of a dozen or so. And of course, if you go to an outside insurer, similarly, you've got the option of death cover, total disability cover, income cover, but on top of that, you've also got the option of taking a trauma cover. And the reason that's available outside super is because it can't be held inside super, and that can be packaged up, in a fairly clever sort of way. The other great options that are open to you is that, in terms of, if we just go back to the death cover and total disability cover, generally speaking, they're usually bracketed together, not always, and they don't have to be, but because that's commonly done, we'll just bracket those together for today's illustrations. The other advantage then of obtaining your insurance outside your super fund is that you've got options as far as payments are concerned. So the first option is that you could have your insurance from the external insurer connected to your super fund, and then the super fund becomes the payer. That's one option. The other option is, or alternative is, that you can pay for the super fund, pay for the insurance premium yourself. And that all depends on cash flow. And depending on eligibility, those premiums might even be tax deductible. And so if they're tax deductible and you're paying for them yourself, then that's saving that expense from the super fund and building a higher retirement balance. Similarly with income insurance, it can either be funded by the super fund as an option, or you can pay it yourself. Now, if you pay it yourself, the premiums do become tax deductible, which is a unique proposition for income cover. And the other part of this is the trauma insurance. As I've already said, trauma insurance is not able to be packaged in superannuation, but depending on the covers you take, you can package trauma insurance up and pay for that separately yourself. And by packaging up, you get all the volume pricing discounts that would apply on the package type of cover that you select and hold. The other flexibility that comes out of this is that as your circumstances change, you can change the arrangement. So if it came to be that rather than paying the premium out of a super fund, you prefer to pay it yourself, you can change that arrangement. and then just have the premiums paid by yourself, or vice versa. If it's being paid by yourself and you take on extra debt or something happens that you're not able to pay, or you don't have the cash flow to be able to pay it, then you can revert to having that paid for by your super fund. You can just put that arrangement back in place. So it's quite a flexible arrangement, quite a tax-effective type arrangement, potentially depending on your own circumstances. Of course, there are eligibility rules and criteria that do apply, but if you explore those thoroughly, I'm sure you'd be able to find something that would be quite suitable to you. So in summary, generally speaking, and subject to eligibility and other criteria, you've got choices open to you in sorting your insurances. And that's the message we'd like to leave with you today. And if you'd like to reach out to get more information, you can always contact Steve Mains at Mainline Financial, Adam Renouf at Renouf and Partners, or myself at Array Business Centre. We'll talk to you again soon in another edition of Coffee Talk.